Welcome back. So, big news, there is a brand new townhome development coming to Lake Las Vegas, and the builder is Pulte. And people have a lot of opinions about it. Some people in this community are excited. They see it as the most accessible entry point into Lake Las Vegas that's come along in years. Others are flat out against it. They're talking about the density, traffic, property values, and yes, some of them are bringing up what's been happening over at Del Webb by Pulte. Today, I'm going to break all of it down. What Westlight actually is, where it sits, what the community is saying, and most importantly, what they're getting right and what they're getting wrong. So stay with me.
I'm Cruzette Hydron. I've lived in Las Vegas for over 40 years. Welcome to my channel, where local insight meets real guidance.
Okay, before I get into it, quick note here. In my last video, I told you we were going to cover the bridge loan strategy, how to buy your next home before your current one sells. That video is still coming. I haven't forgotten about it. But someone reached out to me and said, hey, Cruzette, have you seen what Pulte is up to on Lake Las Vegas Parkway? And honestly, once I started digging into it, I knew it needed its own video first. The bridge loan breakdown drops next week. This one couldn't wait. So let's get into it. I'm Cruzette, a Las Vegas resident for over 40 years, and I've lived in just about every part of this valley. Lake Las Vegas is the market I know best. I cover it every week, and I'm telling you, this Westlight development is one of the most discussed things I've heard from buyers and current homeowners in a long time. So let's get into it. Okay, so what is Westlight and why does it matter? First, let's get clear on what we're talking about. Pulte has been building in Lake Las Vegas for years. Most people know Del Webb, that's their 55 plus active adult community. They also built Bellano, which came out in January of 2018, and that started in the low to mid 300,000s. And I want to be clear, that was the price when it first came out on the market. Those days are gone. Bellano is sold out and homes there have appreciated significantly since then. I only mention it for context on where Pulte has built in this community before. Now, Lake Las Vegas is not new to attached product either. The V, some Amber Rock Homes, and Vita Bella is here. Montava over in South Shore is here. So townhomes and attached living are not a foreign concept to this community. There is existing product, existing residents who have lived that lifestyle here. Westlight is Pulte's newest community, and it's a different product entirely. We're talking two-story townhomes with 3 different designs. They're attached multifamily style. It's going to be located on Lake Las Vegas Parkway. The exact address will be at 25 Asher Falls. Now, here's what I want you to understand. A townhome product in this location is not random. It's deliberate. Lake Las Vegas has always had a mix of product types, single family, custom homes, attached product going back to the early development days. The master plan has always included that kind of density that makes a walkable village community actually work. In terms of specifics, I want to be straight with you, Westlight is still in the early stages, and at the time I'm recording this, Pulte has a VIP interest list open. Official pricing, floor plan details, square footage, and move-in timelines have not been released yet. I will have those numbers in the description below and on my social media once they're released. What I can tell you is the type of buyer this is designed for. If you want access to the Lake Las Vegas lifestyle, the lake, the village, the sports club amenities, but you're not trying to carry the overhead of a single family home, this is built for you. It's also built for the lock and leave buyer, the person who travels or has a second home somewhere and wants a low maintenance footprint at a real resort community. That is a very real buyer profile in this market. And there has not been a fresh product at this entry point in a minute. Let me tell you what I'm hearing on the ground, because there are generally 2 camps here, 2 types of people or 2 different groups. We have the people who have wanted to get into Lake Las Vegas for years, but couldn't make the numbers work at the single family price point. They see Westlight as the on-ramp. They're thinking about walkability, being close to the village, the restaurants, the lake. That appeal is real. Now, there is a second group, Camp 2, which are very concerned people. And look, I'm not going to dismiss the concerns. They're worth taking seriously. The density conversation is real. There are people in this community who chose Lake Las Vegas specifically because of how spread out it feels. They're looking at a townhome product coming in and asking, what does this do to the character of the neighborhood? I mean, that's a fair question. We'll get into it when we talk through the real trade-offs. But I want to address the biggest one right now because it's the one I keep seeing come up in conversations, and frankly, it's the one I can't talk about Pulte at Lake Las Vegas without addressing the Del Webb situation. Now, I actually did a full-length, in-depth video on this last month, and that one got a lot of people talking. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description up here and also down below. Go watch that one after this, but let me give you the summary here because it is directly relevant to what we're discussing today. Del Webb Lake Las Vegas is Pulte's 55 plus active adult community right here in Lake Las Vegas master plan. About 50 homeowners in that community have been in an active legal dispute with Pulte Group. This story broke on Fox 5 Las Vegas back in September of 2025 and has continued through 2026 with the most recent reporting in April of this year. The allegation is serious. Homeowners say that when Pulte built this community, the soil beneath the homes was not properly compacted, and the consequence of that years later is that homes are shifting, cracking, floors are uneven. We're talking about homes that cost over $1 million and residents saying they are afraid to walk through their own kitchens because the floors are so unstable. Let that sink in for a second. The attorneys representing these homeowners have said that repairing each home, stabilizing the land, leveling the foundation could cost anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 per home, not including streets and infrastructure. Pulte's official response has been, we stand behind the quality of homes we deliver. We are actively engaged with homeowners in assessing their concerns and addressing warranty-related repairs. As of April 2026, the case is still in court. The dispute right now centers on whether this moves forward as litigation, which the homeowners do want, or gets pushed back into arbitration, which Pulte is arguing is required under the purchase agreements. That fight alone tells you something about how this is playing out. I want to be fair here. The HOA and the homeowners are fighting on two fronts: the damage itself and the right to even have their day in court. That is a significant situation happening right now, right here in this community. And that context matters when a new Pulte product is announced down the road. Now, does that mean Westlight has the same issues? I mean, not necessarily. It's a different site, different product type, different construction approach, but it does mean you go in with your eyes wide open and you ask the right questions. And I'll give you exactly what to ask in a few minutes. Here are the honest trade-offs, what you gain and what you give up. Okay, I want to be clear about something before I go any further. I'm not here to sell you on Westlight, and I'm not here to talk you out of it. What I am here to do is give you the honest picture, because that's what I'd want if I were sitting where you are. So let's talk about what you actually gain with this product and what you genuinely give up. What you gain, the walkability here is real. If Westlight is positioned where I believe it is on Lake Las Vegas Parkway, you are steps from the village, restaurants, the waterfront, the lake, without getting in your car. That is not a small thing. In a community built around a resort lifestyle, being able to walk out your front door and be in the middle of it is genuinely valuable. The second thing you gain is the lock and leave lifestyle. No lawn, no landscaping bills, no exterior maintenance headaches. You travel for a month, you lock the door and you go. That is a very specific lifestyle that a very specific buyer has been looking for, and this product delivers that. Third, the price point. This is the most accessible entry into Lake Las Vegas that's come along in years. And if you've wanted to be in this community, but the single family numbers haven't worked for you, Westlight deserves a serious look. And finally, the amenity access, the 320-acre lake, possibly the sports club, the village. Those are tied to the master plan, not to how many square feet you own. The same sunsets, the same lake, the same experience. Now here's where I'm going to give it to you straight, because this is the part that doesn't always make it into the builder's brochure. It's the outdoor space. You're not going to have a yard, maybe a small patio, maybe a small outdoor area, but if having your own private outdoor living space is important to you, a townhome is going to feel like a real trade-off. That's not a deal breaker for everyone, but it's a deal breaker for some people. Know which one you are before you sign. Parking. And I want to spend a minute here because this is one of those things that doesn't get talked about enough. We've seen this play out right here in Lake Las Vegas with Vita Bella, another attached home community in this area. And one of the consistent friction points residents have talked about is visitor parking. When you're in a townhome or an attached product like a condominium, your garage handles your cars, but what happens when your kids come to visit? What about friends coming over for dinner? Guest parking in these communities can be extremely limited, and it creates real HOA tension when people are parking on the street or circling the community looking for a space. Before you commit to Westlight, I want you to ask Pulte directly how many dedicated guest parking spaces are in this community. What are the rules? That question alone will tell you a lot. Golf carts. This is a big one here at Lake Las Vegas, and I don't think it's being talked about enough in the context of this development. Golf carts are part of the lifestyle here. People use them to get around the community, get to the lake, get to the village. It's one of the things that makes living here feel like a resort every single day. But in a townhome with a standard 2-car garage, where does the golf cart go? Is there dedicated golf cart storage? Is there a charging station situation? Can your garage actually accommodate a car and a cart? This is not a hypothetical concern. If you're coming from a single-family home in Lake Las Vegas where you've had the cart in the garage, you need to know what you're walking into. Shared walls. This is a lifestyle shift. Not a flaw, but a reality. You will share walls with your neighbors. Sound travels. You'll know more about their routines than you do in a single-family home. For some people, that's no issue at all. For others, it's a deal breaker they don't discover until they've already moved in. And HOA restrictions in attached communities tend to run tighter. What you can do with your space, your patio, what you can store, what's allowed visually, these rules exist and they do matter. Read the CC&Rs before you sign anything. Here's what you actually need to know before you buy. If you're seriously considering Westlight, here are the questions I want you to walk into that sales office with. First, what is the full HOA picture? Of course, we know Lake Las Vegas has a master HOA and that currently runs at $153 a month. That covers the master plan community infrastructure, the common areas, certain amenities, the overall maintenance of what makes this a resort community. But in an attached product like Westlight, there will almost certainly be a sub-association HOA on top of that. That number has not been released yet. And that's the one that can surprise people because you're budgeting for one number and signing up for two. So you need to ask, what does a sub-association fee cover? Exterior maintenance, landscaping, roof, insurance on the structure? Get the breakdown in writing before you sign anything. Then there's the sports club. Some builders in Lake Las Vegas include the initiation fee as part of the purchase. It's a perk they use to close deals. Others don't, and you're on the hook for it separately. Ask if Pulte will include those sports club initiation with Westlight. That is a real number, and you want to know before you're sitting at the closing table. One more thing to ask that most buyers don't think to ask until after they've moved in is this community gated? Most communities in Lake Las Vegas are gated, but not all of them are. So if that matters to your lifestyle, to your sense of security, to your privacy, confirm it. Don't assume. Second, how many guest parking spaces are in the community and what are the rules? I brought up Vita Bella earlier. Don't let parking be the thing you discover after you've already closed. Get a specific number. Ask about enforcement. Ask what happens when those spaces are full. It sounds like a small detail, but it really isn't. Third, what are the provisions for golf carts? Can your garage fit a cart and a car? Is there dedicated golf cart storage on site? Is there a community charging area possibly? Golf cart lifestyle is real here at Lake Las Vegas. Make sure Westlight supports it before you assume it does. Fourth, what soil testing was conducted on this site? Given what's happened at Del Webb, which is right there in the same community, this is not a rude question to ask. It's a smart buyer question. Ask for the geotechnical report. A reputable builder should be able to provide that for you. Fifth, what are the rental restrictions? In Lake Las Vegas, short-term rental rules are very strict. If your plan includes renting this property at any point, you need to know exactly what you're allowed to do. Six, what's the construction timeline and what's the upgrade process? Will Westlight provide spec or semi-custom homes? Know your delivery window, know what's included, know what upgrades cost before you start adding them, because that's where new construction can really surprise you. And the last thing I'll say here, and I say this every time I talk about new construction, the on-site agent works for the builder, not for you. You want representation on your side that doesn't cost you anything as a buyer on new construction. The builder pays the commission, but the person in your corner matters a lot when you're trying to negotiate, understand the contract, or work through warranty issues later. Okay, look, here's the bottom line on Westlight. This is a real opportunity for a specific buyer. The Lake Las Vegas lifestyle at an accessible price point in a community that is genuinely one of the most unique places to live in the entire Southwest. But go in informed. Ask the hard questions. Understand the Del Webb situation not as a reason to walk away, but as a reason to be a smarter buyer. Drop it in the comments. What do you think this development is going to do to Lake Las Vegas? Is this good for the community, or does it change something about what makes this place special? And what do you think it does to home values? Does more density here help or hurt it? I read every comment. Let's talk about it. So if you're thinking of making a move here in Henderson or Lake Las Vegas, whether it's Westlight, an existing home, a custom build, I'm the person you want to talk to. I've been covering this market for years. I know the neighborhoods, the builders, the micro markets. Within the micro markets, reach out. Link is in the description, and if you found this video useful, please subscribe. I drop new content every week. Move up buyers, market updates, everything happening in Henderson and Lake Las Vegas. You want to stay connected. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.